And this is a surprise. Well, not surprise, but this is episode 39, an NBA one of the Fun Football Podcast. We are going to talk a little Super Bowl. I got Chris here, but we're going to do the NBA trade deadline because it's always been one of my favorite things. And now that I'm doing podcasting, I got to talk this NBA trade deadline. So I will be doing some Super Bowl stuff. I might even start with that really quick. But I've got Chris here. Thanks for joining, dude. I hopped on your show back in December. Did
Yeah,
Entertainment Man. Why don't you tell
uh,
everybody really quick before we do any sports stuff? Why don't you tell them about your shows and
mhm.
how long you've done it and what you do, man?
Okay, so I'll start with Entertainment Man. That started up in 2020 during the height of the epic started. That's a motivational, fun topic interview kind of podcast. So that's a lot of fun to do. And also, I have the CBOW show, which is a TV and movie podcast, which started originally in 2018, lasted a year, went on hiatus in 2019, 2020, and 2021. Tried to bring it back, 2022. It tried to come back again, failed, and then last year we brought it back. Larry and I brought it back together, and we are now at 27 as of today because we did 2 episodes today, so that was a lot of fun.
Very cool, dude. Nice. Janae's here. Good to see you. She joined our network. Anyways, I just wanted to talk NBA for a while. I almost started an NBA show, but I'm trying to not overwork myself. So before I take a little break, it won't be that long. It'll be a few weeks, but I will be doing shorts, and I'll still be doing some written stuff. I wanted to talk this NBA trade deadline. But before we do the NBA trade deadline, because it is the Fun Football Podcast, why don't you? I know that you're not. I've talked to you. We talk on Facebook Messenger all the time. Why don't you tell me really quick about what your thoughts on the Super Bowl? Who do you think wins? Are you excited? What are you thinking?
Well, first of all, I wasn't gonna watch it originally, and I actually said to my dad because we're going to my brother's for Super Bowl. So my mom's gonna be here doing her thing and all that. I'm going to my brother's place, so I'm gonna get to see my niece and nephew, and my sister-in-law will be there. But I wasn't gonna originally go, so wasn't gonna go. I wasn't gonna watch it because Casey's in it. I'm so tired of Casey winning it. But if I think of it in a way, they're a good team, and they're going to be a good team for many years, I'm sure, because they
Mhm.
have Patrick Mahomes there. They have Kelsey in there too. So, and San Fran, I wasn't actually, no, what, San Fran, I wasn't really surprised. I wasn't surprised they made it. I know they beat out our Packers. It is what it is. But in the end, it's a hard one to decide. It really is. It's a really hard one to decide. I know I was
It
kind of.
really is. I've broken this down every position. I don't know if you've seen all the stuff I've done on it, and it's. I'm gonna do a different angle tomorrow. I'm gonna hop on a betting prop show for it, and then I'm gonna do one with Bill. I'm kind of excited.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah. But it is a really tough game. I'm thinking Mahomes is the equalizer here. He's the
Hmm.
difference maker, and they've got Chris Jones on that defensive line in what might be his last game with the Chiefs. I haven't even hit that angle, and Kelsey getting up there in age, but still, uh, I don't know what he did with his. He looked younger in that last game, but that's what greats do. They can't do it as sustainably, but he can. The way he broke out in the AFC Championship game against a really good defense was impressive to me.
Hmm.
So yeah, I know we're doing NBA trade deadline, but I had to start with football because it's the Fun Football Podcast.
Yeah.
So
And I
what's your?
think I
Yeah,
think
sorry, man.
I think I think Casey will have the edge. I think it's going to be really,
Okay.
really, really close by probably a couple points. My guess maybe either 27-25 or maybe 30-27, maybe something like that.
So you're thinking Chiefs win by 2 or 3? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm taking the 49ers. I'm picking with my heart, and the wife has gone on trip, and I told her I'm rooting for the 49ers anyways.
Hmm.
Plus, I want if the Packers are going to lose to the team that won the Super Bowl. That sounds better. as a Packers fan. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I am wearing some Suns gear. They didn't make any big trades today. Uh, I don't believe we're going to talk about them in a minute. But any final football thoughts? There is another thing I didn't prep you for, and I'm
Mhm.
sorry. I just thought about it. The NFL Honors is tonight. Why don't we, for the people, really quick? Any last Super Bowl thoughts? Any? Are you excited about the commercials or halftime show or any of that?
Who's going to be performing again?
You already know Taylor Swift's going to come steal the show. I'm just kidding.
No, I
It's
hope not.
it's Usher.
Usher. Okay, yeah, I know who he is. Yeah, well known, very well known.
Um, I'm hoping there's some good commercials. So, us being movie lovers, I'm
Mhm.
hoping to see I hadn't really talked this yet.
Mhm.
I'm hoping to see a Deadpool 3 commercial trailer
Mhm.
for the first time. That would be sick. A Godzilla 2 Kong 2 commercial that comes out at the end of March. That'd be sick.
Mhm.
Like I'd love to see that because I haven't seen a trailer yet. So I think they're gonna and dropping it now would be genius because the movie comes out at the end of March. It comes out for Easter weekend
Yeah.
in like 7 weeks. So
Yeah.
you know there'll be a Dune 2 another commercial that's coming out soon.
Mhm.
What about ooh they've already dropped one, but I could see there being another Furiosa commercial
Mhm.
for the Mad Max spinoff. Another Apes commercial, I could see that. There's no other big Marvel or DC movie this summer. It's just Deadpool.
Yeah.
I could see there's probably going to be another big Despicable Me commercial. I don't know what other movies they'll do. Maybe something for Christmas. It's a little early, but maybe. Um,
Mm.
but those big trailer spots for the Super Bowl are also huge. So I could
Yeah.
see. I think the Deadpool 3 one's going to be a surprise. I think it's going to happen.
Yeah. I think last year wasn't there one with Gordon Ramsay in it or something. It was some
Oh yeah,
wash.
dude! I forgot about that.
I wonder
Yes,
if they're
there
going to do another
was.
one with
Was
him.
that
That'd be
last year?
funny.
Oh,
I
that
think
was.
I think it was last year. I think it was. Yeah.
Okay, hey, so do me a favor, and I'll message you about it later. Okay,
Yeah.
look up. Have you seen Stranger Things? We're totally divulging away from
Yeah.
football and NBA right now, but it's fine. I've been
uh,
wanting to toss some more of the stuff in the show, anyways. Have you seen the? Have you ever seen Stranger Things?
no, I want to actually get into it. Actually,
Okay,
I've,
well, the actor who's in that, who was in um the Santa movie. Gosh, what's it called? It was it's the one where Santa Claus is like he's like killer Santa Claus, but he is
oh
also in Gran
yeah.
Turismo. He was also oh gosh, he's been in a bunch of movies. He had a small bit in the first Equalizer. David Harbour, the guy who plays Hopper, in
Mm-hmm.
it. Dang it, he's been in some other stuff recently too. But his big role is Stranger Things. But he's been in some other movies recently. He's been huge. Anyways, right when Stranger Things happened, they had this, I think it was 2018, okay? 2017, 2018. It's right after Stranger Things started. And he was in a Tide commercial. But what was really, really funny about it was there was like 5 different Tide commercials, and you don't know it's a Tide commercial until like 15 seconds in, and then he pops up in all of them. It's like 5 or 6 different Tide commercials that I believe the way they did it. If you look it up, just look up funny Tide commercial, it'll pop up. But
Yeah.
it was all in the same Super Bowl at different points, and it cracked me up. The M&M ones are always good. There's always a good
Yep.
beer like
Oh yeah.
Budweiser. There'll
Yeah.
be Doritos is always awesome.
Hmm.
So I'm just hoping the whole package together, commercials, Usher, the game is awesome. That's all I
I
want.
hope so too. Yeah, for sure.
Especially because there's no football for 7 months afterwards.
I know it's gonna be all the off season stuff and
Brutal. So I'm taking a break. But plus I just don't have the energy yet to do a full NBA one. But I'm considering it for next year. We'll see. Okay. There's one more NFL thing I'm going to toss at you really quick. I did
hmm
not prep you for it. I like to occasionally. I'm being mean, but it's not a hard thing. Okay. I like to occasionally throw something a curveball at my guests. Okay. There's the NFL awards. I'm going to read you. I did this with Med,
hmm
who's hopping on your show on Wednesday, right?
Thursday the 15th.
Hey guys, also I didn't say this. I'm only 4 or 5 away from 100 subs on YouTube, but help Chris get his goal of 100. He's over 50. He go give him a sub subscribe or follow on Facebook, please. I did better with that now. Also, Chris, I don't know if you can stream to your locations. Is it letting you do it?
Let's see. I have to log in. Darn it.
If you
I'll
want
do
to do
that.
that really quick, I can carry for a minute. No worries.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
I know I have an account. I'll just log in with my Google, my
So the
goggles.
NFL. So I'll start pitching the whole thing that's coming up.
Yep.
No worries. You got time. So the NFL Awards is tonight. It's okay. He's going to be back. The NFL Awards is tonight, people. And I'm curious what your thoughts are on who's going to be. I didn't pitch this in the whole thing. I should have, but it's okay. Who's going to win MVP? The NFL Awards, there's MVP. The options are Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Christian McCaffrey, Dak Prescott. I can't believe I'm saying that name out loud for MVP. And sorry, Cowboy fans, he shouldn't be on there. And Brock Purdy. And honestly, Purdy had that bad game against Baltimore, so that knocked him a bunch. But you got Dak, McCaffrey, Jackson, and Allen. I think the winner will be Lamar Jackson, but I think it should be Christian McCaffrey. You have any thoughts on that? Can you
I
hear
don't
me?
know. Yeah, I can
you're
hear
muted
you.
again.
Oh, jeez.
No way. During the live. Gotta love it. My phone's been plugged in. I'll change back to the mic. Hold on.
I hope you guys can hear
It's
me.
a season award, Ed. I agree. Ed, thanks for hopping on. We're gonna do NBA trade deadline stuff. It's gonna be a different kind of episode in about 5 minutes. I agree. It's a season award, but if you look at Jackson's stats, I don't think that he deserved it personally.
Yeah. They can hear. I just checked the feed and it worked okay.
But I can't hear Chris, so let me try to get his audio back up. Like troubleshooting issues during the live stream, that's always the best.
It is. I checked the feed. It does work. It does work on my end, so I'm good on my end here. I checked it.
I can hear you.
Miracle.
That's always nice to have a guest that you can actually hear. Ed, I agree it's a season award. I just don't think Lamar Jackson, when you look at his stats, it's not just stats, but I think that McCaffrey earned it. Over 2,000 yards, 20 TDs, he earned it.
I think so, yeah.
But I do think Lamar Jackson's going to win it. The awards are tonight after the show, so I'll recap them tomorrow with Bill because I don't think we're going to be on the air long enough. Okay, next one. Coach of the Year. Unfortunately, Matt LaFleur is not on this list. All right, you got the Browns coach.
Okay.
You got the Houston Texans coach, who I really like because they came from 3-13-1 actually to winning a game and winning the division, winning a playoff game. That's a huge turnaround. The 49ers and the Ravens, they are both the 1 seeds. I get it, but I wouldn't pick either of them. Or the other guy I like is Mr. Dan Campbell for the Lions. If I could give a co-award, I'd give it to the Texans guy, DeMeco Ryans, and Dan Campbell. But I think Campbell wins it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think Campbell. I would give a co-award to the Houston coach. As a co-award, I would definitely because I was looking at the stats the other day, and they were looking really, really like they're like right. I think they were the top in the division, weren't they? If I remember correctly.
Yeah. So the Texans went from one of the worst teams. I think they had the number 2 pick last year or 3.
Yeah.
I think it was 2, honestly. And they were one of the worst teams in the NFL. DeMeco Ryans came in from San Fran. He was their defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So he was a rookie head coach. They had a rookie defensive coordinator and a rookie quarterback, CJ Stroud. And they not only made the playoffs, but they won a playoff game. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
that's going to be an interesting.
The Packers, they were one of the biggest surprises of the year.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting division with Houston, and I think Jacksonville's in that division as well, I believe. That's going to be interesting. I think those are going to be the 2 top for next year for that division, I think.
So they're in the same division with Jacksonville, who like you said, I just don't know about the coach and that quarterback. We're going to find out if they're for real. Yeah. But you've got Indy, possibly, but they need a quarterback, and then Tennessee coming up with a new coach, new quarterback. So I think it's pretty much down to Jacksonville, and we'll see about Indy. They do have a coach, but it's probably going to come down to Houston or Jacksonville in that division.
For sure.
Okay, next award. I know I'm throwing some NFL stuff at you. It's the Fun Football Pod. We got to start with football. Okay. I don't love this award. We'll go through it quick, but I'm surprised the Chiefs defensive coordinator wasn't on it. Assistant coach of the year, you got the Lions offensive coordinator, Baltimore's offensive and defensive. I think it's wrong that both were up there. You got the Browns defensive coordinator or the Texans offensive coordinator. I like him too, but I think the Lions guy wins that one.
I think so. I'm going to go with the Lions too because they're going to be
Yeah.
a team to be a force to be reckoned with next year for sure. Because remember,
Oh,
I've
I
said,
agree.
remember I said in the chat, I've said that in the chat many times with Kelsey. Like her and I've been going back and forth about that division, the NFC division. That it's going to be the Bears, Packers, and the Lions.
Ooh,
So
I like the four that you just. Yeah, that's. I like the four you just picked, man.
was it 4 or was
Very
it 3? I said
Oh, no,
Bears.
three. But
yeah,
in the minute, the Vikings, they
might
got a
look.
decision. Are they going to bring back? Are they going to bring back Kirk Cousins?
I don't know. Oh, I heard. I don't know if I heard. There was something. It was one of the players from. I think it was the Vikings. I think is now involved with the Packers. I forget. One of the team players is now involved with the Packers or something. I don't remember who it was. Darn
Well,
it! I
there's
thought.
some rumors about Justin Jefferson, so I'm curious if that's what you're talking about.
I don't. I don't remember.
Oh, I don't know.
If I find it, I will let you know. I will let you know
Vikings
for
are
sure.
trash. No hope.
No hope.
Today, I love it. Guys, at about the 20-ish minute mark, we're going to move to NBA stuff. I'll still, if you have NFL stuff, comments, I'll throw them in. But just so you know, we're moving to NBA in a minute here. Okay. All right. Next one. AP Offensive Player of the Year. You got Tyreek Hill for the Dolphins. Lamar Jackson, again, for the Ravens. CeeDee Lamb for the Cowboys. Christian McCaffrey for the 49ers. This is Offensive Player of the Year. Or Mr. Dak Prescott for the Cowboys. Personally, I think this goes down to Tyreek or McCaffrey. I think it's got to be one of those two.
Yeah. I would probably pick McCaffrey.
I like it. I think Hill would have cracked 2,000 yards had he not gotten hurt, but I can go McCaffrey with you on that one. If not him, it's got to be Hill. I don't like any of the other choices. Lamb was great, but he wasn't. Hill was the best receiver in the league. So, yep.
Well,
Okay.
obviously, I'm
No,
not
sorry,
a Dallas. I'm not a Dallas fan, so
No, me neither.
that's why that like meh.
Sorry,
Pass.
My buddy Ed's, I think he's still watching. Sorry, dude. I can't with the Cowboys. But anyways, okay. Well, speaking of Cowboys, Defensive Player of the Year, they've got two choices. Who nominated Dak? I agree, Janae. I don't know. I mean, he statistically had a good year, and then just in the playoffs. You got Deron Bland, Defensive Player of the Year, the guy who broke the interception record. You got Mr. Micah Parsons, so you got two Cowboys. You got Max Crosby for the Raiders. You got Myles Garrett for the Browns, and you got TJ Watt for the Steelers. This is a really tough one. Med liked TJ Watt. I personally like Crosby. But I wouldn't pick either of the Cowboys, even though Bland broke some records. Micah Parsons wasn't even the best pass rusher. Well, I probably was in the conference, but not in the NFL, not even close. So Crosby led that Raiders D. They were pretty good over the second half. TJ Watt was a stud. He was awesome. And Myles Garrett did lead one of the best defenses.
So I would say probably TJ Watt because my dad's obviously a Steeler fan. I'm doing it for him.
I like it. You're with Med. I like it. Very nice.
Yeah.
Parsons could get it. He was the clubhouse leader before that. Well, he was one of the betting favorites before that wild card game. So we're gonna find out. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, next one. I got three more. Comeback Player of the Year. You got Joe Flacco, who came off a couch. I'm just kidding. But he hadn't played in 4 years. You got Hamlin, who almost died on the football field. Hey, JB. Thanks. Hey, and also, JB. I'm going to just really quick. JB is the Back It Up Bench podcast, guys. If you want a quality show that does short takes that are awesome with some really cool stories, check that out. I've watched several episodes. I'm going to go watch some more on my hiatus. One of the reasons I'm excited about my hiatus is I'm going to go check out some more shows. But his is one of my favorites. He had a really cool story about Joe Namath on his last one, and he got an autograph from the guy. But he's had several really cool episodes. Seriously, give him a sub, or at least go check it out. It's awesome. But he's been super supportive of this show, and he's such a nice dude. So go check out Back It Up Bench podcast. I got to do better with giving shout outs during the show. So I'm trying to, and now that we're getting towards the break. I'm trying to slow down and do it. So, okay, back to comeback player of the year. Flacco, who hadn't been decent in 4 years. Hamlin, who almost died on the football field, who I think will win it. You know the Hamlin story. Baker Mayfield, who had an awesome season for the Bucks. I like that pick. Stafford, he had a comeback year too. He was good. I don't know if I'd like him as the front runner there. And Tua, and I just can't even with him. Tua Tagovailoa, however you say his last name, from the Dolphins, who honestly was terrible in the playoffs as well. What do you think here, dude?
I'm going between Hamlin, obviously, because he did awesome. But no, hang on a second. Hamlin and Baker Mayfield. That's a hard one.
Ooh.
I'm going to say Hamlin. But I'll be happy Baker Mayfield wins, though.
Okay. I also wouldn't be upset if it's Flacco. I just don't think Stafford or Tua should get it. But I'm with you. I think Hamlin will get it because the greatest achievement is probably NFL Outdated left a comment. He's got an awesome show as well, guys. You should check him out. He likes to stir the pot a little. He's a Bears fan. But no, he's got a great show. Go check him out. Like it says in the description, he will Facebook ASAP. But he is on Twitter and YouTube and puts on an awesome show as well. Go check him out on, like I said, on YouTube and Twitter. Unless I'm missing one, I don't think he's on any other socials. Hamlin has a moment last year at NFL Honors. You know what's Tua for MVP. Tua needs to get some arm strength. That's what he needs to get. He needs to get a big enough arm to actually hit Tyreek Hill and waddle down the field. Then maybe they'll be a little more threatening against some good defenses. But Chris, I'm gonna on that comeback player of the year really quick. Hamlin's gonna win. I'd vote for Baker.
Okay.
Baker's interesting. Dude, Baker, I would actually pay. I would pay Baker. He had a great year. Seriously.
I know.
Okay.
I know the whole story with Baker too. He's been all over the place, over the map of the U.S. teams. Yeah,
he's played in several towns.
Yeah,
and also really, really quick. Thank you for hopping on, dude. I'm gonna have you on again for. I want to have you on again, either before the mock draft or before the next season. Okay, we'll talk about it.
Sounds good.
And when I say before the mock draft, I mean before the NFL draft. So
we'll
work it out. And I'll be hopping on his show in late March. We're gonna do some unnamed movie. We have not decided yet. Okay, next one. Offensive Rookie of the Year. You got Gibbs and Laporta, both from the Lions. You got Nakua, who broke records with the Rams. He was awesome. You got Robinson with the Falcons or Stroud with the Texans. I think it's Stroud.
I think so. Yeah, I think Stroud. Because I know you guys have been talking a lot about Stroud throughout the whole season too. So,
I was also wrong on Baker. I didn't expect Baker to work out in Tampa. He was. Dude, they won a playoff game and they almost took they played right there with the Lions. Pretty good.
He'll be back next year, and I think I think Tampa's gonna do really well next year. I'm pretty sure of it.
They've got that. They got to decide what they're doing with Mike Evans. Do they pay him, or he's getting up there in age, but he's still a baller, or do they let him go? That's a tough one.
Yeah,
seriously. I don't know. We're gonna see. Okay, I just gotta say this. I absolutely love Gibbs and Laporta. Dude, he might be the third best tight end in football right now. He honestly all season might have been top 2. Like Kelsey slipped this year, but Laporta was awesome, and Nakua from the Rams. If there wasn't a CJ Stroud in this, we would have a heck of a race between Laporta and Nakua. Seriously. But it's going to be CJ Stroud. Okay, last one. This is the hardest one. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Okay. You got, and the Texans got lucky. They got Will Anderson, who was awesome. Jalen Carter, who started strong and then kind of tailed off for the Eagles. Joey Porter Jr. for the Steelers. Cornerback. He was very good. Kobe Turner for the Rams, who was awesome. Ooh, got my dad on really quick. Gibbs and Laporta, nice draft class, Detroit. And they also got Branch and they got Campbell. So they got 2 defensive players that were pretty good too. So, and then Devin Witherspoon for the Seahawks. So this one's tough. So you got Anderson for the Texans,
Mhm.
Carter for the Eagles, Porter for the Steelers, Turner for the Rams. He's a defensive lineman like Aaron Donald, or
Mhm.
Witherspoon, the corner for the Seahawks. Tough one.
What was the one for the Steelers? I was going to go for the one. What was his name again?
Corner Joey Porter Jr. for the Steelers.
Yeah,
he was
I'm gonna-
awesome.
I'll do that one for sure.
Med talked me into it. I'm going to go Corby Turner, but honestly, Joey Porter Jr. was. This is a tough one. The only one
It
I
is.
wouldn't give it to is Carter. He tailed off for the Philly. I really like Devin Witherspoon for Seattle, but I'm with you. I like Porter or Turner.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got some comments. NFL Outdated said Stroud all the way. He trained for 7 months with Puka. Iowa tight end university. All right, guys. Hey, if you have other NFL stuff you want us to hit, I'll hit it in the comments. I'm going to NBA trade deadline. I'm mixing it up. Chris was we're both brave enough to talk some NBA. Okay, let's talk your Toronto Crafters. You ready?
hey, PG there, mister.
Hey, you're the one who said it.
But remember you said you're going to keep it PG, right?
They said they were tanking, and I get it. So they gave up Pascal Siakam.
Yep.
This is after losing Van Fleet, and they got 3 first-round picks for him and Bruce Brown. And that was in January. So we're going to start with that one. It was from a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think of that trade?
I don't know much about all the. Well, personally, I watch the Raptors, but I mean, I know all the Raptors from the last few years, especially since the what do you call it, the championship they won in 2019.
Oh man, that was special, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't know what the problem. I guess are they not able to score? Is that their problem, or just everything?
They've got a lot of problems. They've got a lot of problems since they lost. Since they lost Kawhi, they've just been kind of treading water, honestly. Yeah. Offensively, well, defensively they're bad. Their point differential is 3.2. They is negative 3.2, so that means they give up more 3 points more game than they score.
Yeah.
But they're down at. Their offense wasn't awful, but their defense was one of the worst in the NBA. And the biggest problem is they just didn't really have that guy. Scotty Barnes hasn't he's been the funny thing is the guy they traded away to the Knicks, Anunoby, who just got hurt today. I was going to talk all about him. Hey Shay, we've actually got 14 on here. Maybe we should do some more NBA. We're hitting record live numbers. This is kind of crazy. But anyways, Siakam was a really good player, but not good enough to be a one on a contender.
Yeah.
And they lost Lowry. He'd aged out a little anyways, but they lost Lowry from that championship.
Yeah.
And as good as Van Fleet is, he got overpaid a little bit, but it's actually worked out. Hey, Eli, what's up, dude? The problem is that they were a really well-rounded team when they had Kawhi.
Yeah.
And since then, getting RJ Barrett back was good for them. I like that, but they don't really have a guy to build around yet. Scotty Barnes needs to take that next step, and they don't have anyone really special. Now, in that Knicks trade where they gave up Anunoby, they got Quickly and they got RJ Barrett. So I kind of like that with all these picks they got from Siakam. So I think for them, they had Van Fleet last year, and they were a sub 500 team. So Van Fleet left, and they were like, okay, we're not winning any games with Siakam or Anunoby. So they decided to tank, which I think in the NBA you have to.
Yeah. And
you can't be like mediocre and just stay there. You either gotta suck or you gotta try to win a title.
Yeah. And their 12th place, I looked. I know they won last night. I forget what the score was yesterday. It was like 120 to 116 or something like that. But they won yesterday, which is amazing. And now that they have a couple of forwards too on that trade. They
won by 6 and they overcame 45 points from Bridges.
Yeah. Yep. So at the start, I'm gonna be curious to see what's gonna happen in the next little bit. But 2 forwards, a guard, that's pretty good though, and some draft picks too for the future, right? That's building. They're building the future.
Exactly. That's what I like. I actually think this was smart, Chris. I really like it. Anybody's got any comments on any of the past NFL stuff or this trade or any trades today or any trades that didn't happen? Because I'm going to talk about the Lakers. And I'm happy they didn't trade. There's a couple guys they could have gotten that I'm happy they didn't trade for, honestly. I don't think it was going to work. DeJounte Murray, I actually prefer they just keep Russell. I don't think Murray's much of an upgrade for them to give up a bunch of assets. If that was the only guy out there. So we're going to talk some trades that didn't happen over the next 30 minutes or so, but we're going to talk all the trades that did first. So if you guys anybody here likes the NBA or has any NFL thoughts, throw them in the comments. I'm going to throw them up. This will be a big comment show. Okay, so your two Raptors trades were to tank, but they did get some players back. So I think future-wise, if you're not going up, you might as well get some picks, honestly.
Yeah.
And maybe this lets Scotty Barnes flourish and finally become the star they think that he is.
Exactly. I agree. I totally agree.
Because they got to find out if he's it. Because if he's not, they're in trouble. Okay.
Yeah.
So then it wasn't a Raptors trade now. But I really like this sneaky trade. So a week after your trade on January 23rd, and I know I'm recapping stuff from a couple weeks ago, but this was a slick trade by the Heat. They gave up Kyle Lowry and a 2027 first for Terry Rozier.
Yeah.
That was slick. I like it. He's having a good season. They've still got Jimmy, they've got Hero, and they got Bam. That was solid. He's averaging 21 this year. He can still play. He's only 29. That was.
And that's not the first time Lowry's been on the move either. It was like what?
No.
It was like what? Back in the fall, the Raptors traded him, right? Back in the fall, or was it in the off season or something?
No, he'd been with Miami for a couple of years, but or a year and a half, 2 years. I think. But I like this move because that's a massive upgrade to only give up one first to flip and get a huge upgrade at point guard. And Lowry's getting up there, so I think that was pretty slick, honestly.
Yeah, and Miami.
Let me check it out really quick.
Yeah, and Miami's in the playoffs too at this moment. I'm looking at the standings.
Yeah.
They're seventh. They're 28 and 24. I like statistics. I'm a statistic person.
Oh, you were too? Nice.
Yeah, that's why I pulled it up. Oh,
Kyle Lowry. I'm trying to see when he played with y'all. I was trying to see how long he played with y'all. He played, and he's getting up there. He's almost 38 years old. So this was slick for them because they get somebody 8 years younger. He played with Miami since 2021. So he'd played there 2.5 seasons. I knew it was a little bit.
Yeah.
But he was with Toronto most of his career. Like he played with Houston and Memphis early on. But since he's been really mostly pretty good, he played with the Raptors for almost a decade. Got that title.
Yeah, which is good. And he has experience, too. He has that experience for other teams.
That was a good move for Charlotte because they're not going anywhere and they land a first. And it might be a good one because it's in 3 or 4 years after Jimmy ages out. So good for them.
And Charlotte,
because Jimmy's still stupid good in the playoffs. So.
Yeah. Oh, Charlotte's right below us, the Raptors. So they're about the same level, I guess, so to speak. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to keep going through trades. I'm just going to keep moving up on that trade tracker. Any big ones, little ones I'm going to skip. Like I'm not going to talk about Tillman. Celtics got Tillman, not a huge deal. A couple seconds, they flipped. I'm going to talk that Oladipo one. That wasn't a huge move, but because frankly, Memphis isn't going anywhere because they've lost. They lost their point guard for the season, so they're not going anywhere with Moran out. But Houston, on the other hand, has been a surprise. They went out and I like that they got Dylan Brooks and Van Fleet. They got some adults in the room with all those kids, and they've actually been a solid team. They've fallen off recently, but they still have a chance for the play-in. So I like that as a low buy move to get a center.
Yeah.
So we could see. They started off the year great. They've been terrible recently. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. You said Oladipo. I can't pronounce it. Oladipo, which is very well known. I've heard everything about him through a reality TV star. He's like Oladipo this and that, and like he just kept mentioning him. Like, so I know that name, but you told me that he's been battling some injuries with his foot, wasn't it?
Oh man, he had a massive leg injury. He
injury,
missed.
yeah.
I'm on his stats right now. He missed almost 2 full seasons, and the year before that, he only played 30 games.
Hmm.
He hadn't played more than 70 games since the 2017-2018 season, but he had a leg injury, and he basically missed almost all of 2 years.
Wow.
And he came back and averaged 11 points a game last year, but he's been trying to work himself back in, and he's only 31. He'll only be 32 in May. He's not really that old. There was just such a horrific leg injury. It's been a really long ordeal to come back.
Yeah.
He hasn't played all season this year. He still hasn't played. He played 42 games last year. He hasn't played this year. So the funny thing is, for them, they were thinking maybe Oladipo comes back, but it was really just salary filler because he may not play this year at all.
Yeah.
For
But
Memphis,
Yeah.
like, let me look at Memphis' standing. Aren't they? They're pretty.
And they haven't. They
Memphis
have.
isn't making the playoffs, so
Yeah.
I don't even think he'll play this year for him, honestly.
Do they? They have a salary cap, don't they? In the NBA, I don't remember if they do. I'm trying to remember.
Okay, so it's a weird deal. There's a hard cap, sort of.
yeah.
Like, but really, there's a number, and then they can hit the luxury tax.
Yeah.
There's like an apron, and if they go, the higher they go up in it, and the more years they're in it, they have to pay like a ton of money, like the Warriors. So
Yeah.
if they repeat, they're there. Whereas the NFL, there's just a hard cap. The NBA, like, you really don't want to get up in there and stay there, but some of the contenders do.
Yeah.
Or like the Warriors, they do. They won a couple of years ago, but yeah.
Well, but and especially Celtics too, because they're pretty high in my. It's just like the baseball, the Yankees and the Dodgers, for example. Like that's another example. There's no cap in the baseball though, but I mean, it's good though to have a cap.
Yeah. Dang, I'm so mad at myself. I forgot to do my intro to the show earlier. Dang it! I
Oh
forgot.
shoot!
We had all those audio issues. It's all right. It happens. I'm sad now. I just realized it. But it's okay. All right, let's keep going. Next trade. Where we at?
The
Where's the
Pistons?
trades.
Simone Fontecchio.
I clicked the wrong
Gio?
thing. Hold on. Let me go back. I want to add the list so I can see them all.
Hmm.
Okay. Let me look.
I think it was
Wait,
Detroit
wait.
Pistons. I think.
Ooh, the Suns did do a trade. Ooh, happened at the last second. I didn't even see it. It was like right at the deadline. Look at that. Okay, let's go. There's a few. I'm gonna skip the Pistons trade because that guy was. I want to talk the big ones. We're gonna skip that one. Let's skip that Celtics Tillman trade. The Timberwolves get Monty Morris. They flipped guards. I think that was a slight upgrade for the Timberwolves, who've been surprisingly an upgrade or a contender this year. We'll see if they're for real in the playoffs.
Yep.
The Raptors got Kelly Olynyk and gave up Otto Porter Jr.
Mm-hmm.
and they gave up a first-round pick to get Kelly Olynyk. That was very interesting. So they did
It
get
is.
a player back.
And they got
Interesting.
sorry, go ahead.
Interesting move.
Didn't they just get Kira Lewis Jr.? Didn't they in the previous trade that we were talking about? I think they. Let me check. I'm just gonna go back down for a second here. Yeah, they did, and then they trade him away
hmm
as part of the
And then
Kelly
they made-
Olynyk.
And then they flipped guards later on. They got Dennis. They had Dennis Schroeder, and they flipped him for Dinwiddie, which was
Yeah.
interesting. So the Raptors were in a bunch of moves. For me, honestly, they got some vets that are gonna play some games for them this year.
Mhm.
And to be honest, I think that they're just a rebuilding team now.
Yeah, they
Unfortunately,
are.
dude. But
Yeah.
they're a rebuilding team that may have a piece in Scotty Barnes. They've got an RJ Barrett quickly who could make them competent until they land hopefully a star, or hopefully Scotty Barnes becomes that for them. But I think they're just a rebuilding team. They picked up some vets for salary filler for this year, and
Yeah.
they're gonna move forward with their haul of picks because now they've got 3. So
Yeah.
I think that's where they're at. Okay, next
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
Buddy Hield. This was an
Go ahead.
interesting one. Buddy Hield, the guard, who hadn't been. Med was talking to me about this one. He really was not having as good of a year. He's only 31 years old, but he only averaged 12 points a game this year, and his three-point percentage is down to 38%, which isn't that insanely good. He was highly coveted, but I really don't think it was as highly as everyone thought.
Yeah.
But Philly, who lost Embiid, did you hear about that?
No.
He had meniscus surgery. He's out for at least 4 weeks.
Oof.
So the Sixers traded Springer away, who was a backup, no big deal.
Mhm.
But they landed Buddy Hield to, I think, help keep their ship afloat while Embiid is out because they still have Maxey.
Yeah.
And they gave up Marcus Morris Sr., Korkmaz, and a bunch of second-round picks.
Yeah.
Interesting little move for them.
It is, for sure. Yeah.
Next one, Daniel House, no big deal.
Nope.
Pistons, no big deal. They did
They're
make
in
a
last
big
place.
move. We're gonna. They did make a big move. Will hit, but the Hornets, they're doing what you guys did. They're like, we're gonna tank. Might as well.
Yeah.
They gave up Gordon Hayward to the Thunder, and that is a move I really like. What'd you think of that one?
That's
the
a
Thunder
big
are-
move. Yeah,
The Thunder are tied for first.
they're looking really, really good these days. Like,
Yeah, man.
I gotta keep it. I'm gonna have to start watching some of the basketball games, especially because, man, a lot of these teams. It's nice to see other teams that haven't been in there. You know, like
Mhm.
they
I agree.
they had like this tournament style thing going for a while too. I forget what it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, they started the in-season tournament, and the Lakers actually won it, but they played Indiana, which was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Early in the season, they started that. I think it's going to be a thing now. It's like a soccer cup style tournament at the beginning of the season.
Mhm.
So they started it in November. The season starts in
Yeah.
October. They started in November, and it ended in early December. And they had that. They only play a couple extra games. It's part of the schedule.
Yeah.
But the Lakers won it, and it was actually, I watched some of it. It was actually, the players cared. It was kind of fun. So, but this year, what's crazy is we got 30 games left. The trade deadline just happened. The All-Star game is next weekend.
Yep.
So they're all about to go on break, have like 25, 30 games left. And right now in the NBA, you got the Celtics as the best team. And then you got a three-way tie between the Thunder, the Timberwolves, and the Nuggets. And that's fun for the NBA because you got some
Yeah.
teams that haven't won in a while
Yeah.
other than Denver up there. So that's
It can
pretty
go
cool.
either way too, right? It can go in the West.
Exactly.
It can go either. I think the East. Boston's gonna go. They're gonna dominate the East. I think they're gonna go right to the final, right to the championship. But for the West, though, I think Oklahoma, Minnesota, which is I have family down there, so I've been kind of watching the Timberwolves stats a little bit recently. Or I've been watching them. The last couple of years have been doing well. Minnesota, though. Or was it Minnesota? No, it wasn't. It was another team. Never mind. But I mean, it can go either way. Oklahoma, Minnesota, Denver. I don't know. Like it could be interesting. Now, I don't know what the rule is for a tie. I guess it's wherever place they're in on the standings they play, like 1 versus 8, and so forth, right? But what happens if they're tied though? That's what I'm wondering.
So there's tiebreakers in play. The
Mhm.
NBA is a little weird. So if you win your division, you're guaranteed the top 4 spot.
Yeah.
But between those 3, they'll do head-to-head. It's kind of like the NFL. They'll do head-to-head. They've got other tiebreakers. They'll do home-away record splits. But in the playoffs, yeah, it's the 1 versus the 8, the 2 versus the 7, the 3 versus the 6, the 4 versus the 5. I will give you a team that I think could take out Boston, maybe, just because they always are tough, is Miami.
Definitely.
Jimmy Butler. And the Knicks have been fun this year. We're going to get into their trades. They may be a team, but no, the Celtics have been head and shoulders better than everybody by a mile in the East. But Miami is just their kryptonite with Jimmy Butler. So I can't put it past him, even at his age. I think he might have another 1 or 2 left in him. He steps up in the playoffs, and I just can't put it past him. He did it last year. He literally carried them past Boston last year. So as good as they are, if Porzingis is hurt for Boston, that's a tough one. And he gets injury. He's injury prone. So
yeah,
the Mavs in the West did make some moves. We're going to keep talking. They traded Rashawn Holmes away and got Gafford from Washington. That was a slick. That was a slick little pickup. This guy's averaging. He's 25 years old. He's averaging 11 points, 8 rebounds a game. That was an interesting little move. They made a much bigger move, but this was a slight interesting under the radar move because he's going to play some minutes for him at center.
Yeah, and they said it said swap big men, so they're pretty good players, the two of them. So I guess what they wait a second. What do they mean by swap? They said swap the two good players, right? Okay, I got it.
So they traded their center for the other center, but They also traded. This was the bigger trade. They had the Celtics guy, Grant Williams and Seth Curry, Steph's brother, and a first round pick. This was the big move the Mavs did. They got PJ Washington, and they gave up Grant Williams for PJ Washington, and he's averaging 14 points a game almost.
Wow.
Decent 3-point shooter, not great, 32%, not amazing, but I think he's going to start for them. And they've got Kyrie and Luka, so I still don't think this makes them on the top heap of the West. But they were the 8th seed, and I could see this putting them in a position to threaten the top 5. So we're going to find out. That could be interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking at Gafford's
Top 6.
as field or. He's looking at his rebounds are 8.0, assists are 1.5, points 10.9. That's still pretty good. That's a good average because it's you don't want to. I would think maybe an average below 10 probably is not. No, maybe about 9.
Yeah,
I would say it's not as good.
Yeah, for a rotation guy. And I want to say thanks, dude. You're hopping on the first NBA show for me and for my network. So thanks, dude.
No problem.
And thanks to Shady for putting it on. I appreciate you guys. You guys rock. I didn't do it at the beginning, so thank you. Okay, we got a few more trades. A couple more big ones, Chris.
Yep.
Ooh, there were some trades later today too. Dang, this is crazy. Okay, so the Raptors got Dinwiddie. Here's the other big one, okay? Make sure I didn't miss any. Okay, there we go. We're almost done. A couple more. The Knicks got Bojan Bogdanovic from the Pistons. That is a huge trade. They go up Evan Fournier, and they got Alec Burks. The Knicks might have just put themselves in a position if the Celtics get hurt to push them. I wouldn't think they would win it, but dude, Jalen Brunson is a beast. The Knicks, the Mavs have been sad they lost him. But Bogdanovic is a 20 points per game guy. He's 34 years old. He's going to be 35, but he's still scoring 20, and he's shooting over 40% from 3, over 41.
That's good.
That's a move, dude. That's a big trade.
Yeah.
I like that for the Knicks.
Yeah. And age is nothing but a number, really, because you can be like 38 and still putting up the points each and every game, right?
Look at LeBron. He's 39.
Yeah, he's still doing awesome.
Yep. I really like that move for the Knicks for right now because they've got Brunson and they've got Randall. They needed a third dude, and dude, Brunson's a baller. If the Celtics have an injury, I wouldn't put it past the Knicks or the Heat to take them.
Yeah, I think the Knicks are going to go far. I think the Knicks are going to go pretty deep into the playoffs.
I like them over Cleveland. If we're looking at the standings, just pure standings in the East. Off of what I've seen, the Bucks, I like them, but they've got defensive problems. They got Lillard and Giannis. That probably makes them the biggest threat, but I worry about their defense. I think I might slightly edge the Knicks over the Bucks and the Cavs right now in the East. And Philly's done without Embiid. Indiana's not ready yet. So it's really, it looks to me like it's Boston and then New York and then Miami.
Yeah.
But
those 3.
I could be wrong. We'll see.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what our results. It will be interesting to go back to this episode and then just kind of. I gave you an idea tonight.
In April, we'll come back when the playoffs start, and we'll see how it finished. And maybe I'll come back on for a special in June when the finals happen. Sound good?
Count me in on that.
A full hiatus in June. I'm gonna probably be taking a family trip in June when the finals are on, so I may not be on here. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got a couple more for you. Okay, so the Mavs got PJ Washington. So I think the Mavs were winners. We'll talk about winners and losers. The Bucks went out and got Pat Beverly. They needed a guard. If he's got anything left, which I don't know if he does, but they needed somebody to play defense. So we'll see if he's still got anything
important.
left.
D is very important in the game of basketball for sure.
And they got Lillard, who he can't stop a nosebleed.
Yeah.
Like, they gave up Drew Holiday, one of the best defensive guards in the league. They sacrificed defense for offense, and I get it because I love Lillard, but he can't stop anything.
Yeah.
Like, I could probably blow by Damian Lillard. The Pacers got McDermott. That was a slick little move for them. They gave up Marcus Morris. The Kings got Robin Lopez. Not Brooke, but his brother. small move. The Celtics got Springer, a guard backup from Philly.
Okay.
Portland got a backup guard. The
Mhm.
Pacers got Corey Joseph from the Warriors. It's like a little under the radar move. And then the last big move for the Suns, they needed this. They got Royce O'Neal,
Mhm.
who is going to play some minutes for them at forward. They gave up a couple guys that weren't working, and they did a three-way swap with the Nets and the Grizzlies. So good for them.
Interesting. Yep.
Brooklyn got some second-round picks. Let me see how he's been doing this year. Royce O'Neal. Only 7 points a game. He's only 30, though. He'll play some minutes for them. They just need guys that can play, spell those stars in Phoenix.
Yeah.
That's what they're full of.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so let's talk winners and losers really quick if you're game.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. For sure.
All right. So I'm looking at the ringer. Trade deadline winners and losers. I'm a little disappointed the Lakers didn't do anything.
Mhm.
I think wasting what's left of LeBron's, I mean, it's not as prime, but wasting it unless they get somebody on the buyout market, which is going to happen. So players are going to get bought out, Chris.
Yeah.
2 weeks, in the next 2 weeks, they're going to get signed. But to me, the Lakers needed to make a move. They needed some offense. And LeBron wanted them to do something, and he could become a free agent.
Mhm.
And teams have gone through this for over a decade. But I'm disappointed with my Lakers. I think they should have done something.
Yeah. Do you think they're gonna move out of nine? Wait, are they? They're ninth, aren't they? Yeah, they're ninth. Do you think they're gonna move out of the ninth, or are they gonna stay put?
I think they'll make a run, and they'll get up to like seventh, and they'll still be in the plan. And I think they'll be a tough out, but I think they'll go out in the first or second round.
Okay.
I just don't see it this year. But I could be wrong. But they made a move last year. They made a big trade, and that's what jolted them, and they made the conference finals.
Mhm.
They didn't make that trade this year, so I don't know what's going to be that jolt. They got Vincent from Miami coming back. Hopefully he'll stay healthy, but I just don't see it with the Lakers this year. I just don't.
For sure.
I could be wrong. I just don't. There's too many good teams in the West. Like the Clippers, even with James Harden, have been better. I
Yeah.
don't trust that because they've got a bunch of guys that flame out in the playoffs, but
Mhm.
at least they've got a bunch of old dudes that can play together. So
True. That's true.
like they got Westbrook, Harden, Paul George, and Kawhi. That's
Yeah.
stupid. Even though they're all aging, if all four of those guys stay healthy, that's going to be a really tough out.
It is.
But-
I agree. No, I totally agree. And then when they get when it's time for them to retire, then the team's gonna kind of, fumble down. Yep, downhill. They're gonna go downhill.
Oh yeah,
That's
sure.
what happens when the bunch of players retire. Then the team kind of falters down, and they need to rebuild. And I think they're the Clippers, right? What we're talking about.
Yeah, they're trying to win their first title ever. They've got as good of a chance as anybody. They've actually played really good recently. They lost their last game. They're still 8-2 in their last 10.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's over 50% wins too. That's like about 80%, I believe.
Yeah, and they're only a half game. They've played one less game. If they win their next game, they're in a 4-way tie with the Thunder, the Timberwolves, and the
Mhm.
Nuggets atop the whole Western Conference. So that's pretty good.
I don't think I've ever seen it in 4-way tie before.
I know, and it's the parity's real, and you've got some
Yeah.
really good teams this year. It's been fun.
It has.
Okay, so winners and losers. Loser LeBron James for me. Winner, I think the Knicks just won heavy
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
because they got Anunoby, who's banged up now. That sucks for them. Let
Yeah.
me look at how long he's out. That happened right before we hopped on. Let me look really quick. Like that was today. Let me see. Ooh, surgery on his elbow. Let me see how many weeks. 3 weeks. Okay, so he'll be back for the playoffs. So they've got Anunoby,
Mhm.
they've got Randall, they've got Brunson, one of the best guards in the league, and now they got Bogdanovich.
Mhm.
Dude, that's
They're
pretty
gonna.
good.
It is.
Now they
Yeah.
still got Boston to get through, but that's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, they have a chance against Boston. Come on. Definitely. I definitely think Knicks have a good chance against Boston. They ain't that scary.
Boston's been good. The problem with them is they've got they haven't broke through in the playoffs, and I love Porzingis, but he's never healthy. So
Yeah.
we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out.
And like,
Uh,
and like I said,
And Randall's banged up for them too. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't
yeah,
know.
injuries does make a factor in how well you do perform.
But they got two shooters, Burks and Bogdanovich.
Hmm
Both are shooting at least 40% on their threes this year, so that's good for them because you need shooting in the NBA, and that's one thing the Lakers are severely missing. So,
For sure.
let's keep going through the winners and losers. Loser LeBron. I completely agree. Yeah, I think Oklahoma City is a winner. I really like the Gordon Hayward move. He's still a
Mhm.
crafty veteran, and I think that's exactly what they needed.
Yeah.
I like that, and I like that they made at least a small move because they needed to do something. They have so many picks, and they've got such a good team. They needed to take a swing, so I
Yeah.
like it.
And it's good to have a veteran. They always say to have a veteran player on your team is really good to have that experience too. Like you want an experienced
Yeah.
player. Yeah.
Good point. Yeah, definitely, I agree. And with a bunch of young guys, it helps to have established veteran, just to show them
Yeah.
there's so
Mentor
many ins
them.
and outs of basketball. So
Yeah.
I agree, man. Nice, good take. I like it.
Yeah.
You know your basketball, dude.
I
Very
do.
nice.
Yeah. Even though I
We're
don't
gonna have
watch
to-
it.
if I do some more NBA stuff, I'll have you on. It's
For
hard
sure.
because it's the fun football podcast, so it's hard to do it on my football one. But I've got Blitz too, so
Yeah.
I've got another show for my NBA love.
Exactly.
Loser Chicago. Yeah. Oh, I hadn't thought of this. Chicago not making moves. They had Caruso, they had DeRozan, and they're the problem with them. Like Toronto finally cut bait on some guys. They tried for a while, but it wasn't going anywhere. So they traded some of their stars, but at least they're not sitting in purgatory, and that's where their Bulls are.
hmm
And
Yeah.
I think that's the worst place in the NBA to be because you're never going to get good enough to really contend, and you're not bad enough to get one of the best
Yeah.
picks. It's the worst place to be.
Yeah. I thought Chicago was doing really good at the start, and then just kind of wavered down a
Yeah.
little bit. You know.
They're ninth in the East right now. So the best case scenario for them is winning the play-in and then getting crushed.
Yeah.
It's not that exciting to be a first round fodder. I don't like it. For me, anyways, as a
Yeah.
fan.
No, I agree.
Next one. Sixers. I don't know if they're a winner though. Like Hield really wasn't that great this year. Losing Embiid, I get it for them to get somebody to kind of fill like the offense from Embiid, but Hield really wasn't it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like when he comes back, that might really be good for them, but he might not be back this year.
Yeah.
It's already mid-February.
And they're finishing April, right?
Yeah, the season ends like mid-April. It's like April 15th. So
Yeah.
he's got barely over 2 months to get. It wasn't an ACL; it was
Yeah.
meniscus. But I've heard he's out at least 4 weeks, and then
Yeah.
he's gonna revamp up. I don't know, man. I'm not sure.
He's gonna have to do like some physical training and all that, and probably physio too. But meniscus is not a fun injury. I know about
No.
knee injuries myself. I have a knee problem with my right, so it's like, yeah, it takes time to heal, build up that muscle too in the knee to get your
Yep.
knee strong again. Meniscus is not anything to screw around with because that's serious. It's a serious injury.
I agree.
Yeah.
Don't want to mess around with that. And honestly, he
Sorry.
might not.
You know who went off on me?
Yeah. Who's talking? I'm just kidding.
That was Siri. I'm turning my phone upside down on her.
Siri, go away. We don't want you right now.
Hey, made
Hey.
a comedy out of it.
What did you think of the Mavericks moves? This one, I like them, but they weren't like,
Not spectacular, right?
yeah, like they needed some guys around Kyrie and Luca.
Yeah.
But if they were going to take a swing for a third star, I think that third star was Bogdanovich for them,
Yeah.
especially. And the Knicks instead landed him, and that's the
Yeah.
kind of guy I think they needed. If they weren't going to get a defensive presence to get somebody that can stretch the floor and shoot,
Yeah.
I think the Knicks won where they lost, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
we'll
I think-
see. Getting rid of Grant Williams, who sucked from Boston, was good, but not.
Yeah.
Uh, Washington's all right. He's okay.
Yeah.
I've heard like they're big winners. I'm like, because I live near Dallas. I'm like, well, we'll see. Luca's so great. He's stupid. He's stupid
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And their defense is 22nd, so I don't see this improving that.
No, I don't think it's going to improve. It's
The Western Conference got some stuff. I like the Pat Bev move to Milwaukee. Trying to look really quick if there's any other teams I want to hit really fast.
mhm.
Okay, really quick. We're at an hour-ish here. What is your finals prediction for the NBA? Let's do it right now on the record. We'll come back and talk it.
Like I said, Boston for the East. Definitely,
Okay.
I'm locking in Boston,
Okay.
but it could be New York too. I don't know. I'm kind of dying between Boston and New York. You know,
Oh, I
that's a
get
tough
it, man.
one.
I understand.
I would
I
say.
understand. It's tough.
No, what? Because I don't like Boston. I'm not a Boston fan that much. Oh man. No, what?
No.
I'll take Boston. Boston for the East.
Okay.
The West. That's a tough one. I think. Boy. I think it'd be Oklahoma. Either Oklahoma or Minnesota or Denver. It could be one of the top three. I think. It could be even Lakers. The Clippers, but I think Oklahoma. I think the Oklahoma will be in the finals. But again,
Wow.
it
So the
could go any
Thunder
way,
and the
right?
Celtics. I like it, dude.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, I'm gonna go. Let me look.
I kind of think I know where you're gonna go with it. I kind of think.
I'm gonna go.
I know it's tough, isn't it?
I'm gonna go Celtics.
Okay.
It's tough though because I'm worried about them getting hurt. But I'm gonna go Boston, and I'm gonna go Denver.
Okay. Interesting.
They won the title last year. I think that they're that team. I am a little worried about their depth, but I still think Jokic and Murray are the best 1-2 combo in the NBA. If it's not them, the Clippers scare me in the West and the Suns.
Yeah.
I do really like Minnesota and the Thunder. I'm not sure if they had the playoff experience yet, and I don't know if I trust Minnesota.
Okay.
I like the Thunder better than Minnesota, so we'll see. So
All right.
we're gonna come back and do that. So so my pick was Denver, Boston, and yours was
Boston and Oklahoma
Thunder.
City.
All
yeah,
right.
Thunder, yeah.
I like it, man. All right, hey, if anybody has any comments, now is the time. I'll plug them really quick, but otherwise, I'm gonna do my plugs in a second. Chris, why don't you tell everybody where to see your show again and what's coming up?
So, Entertainment Man Podcast will be finally back on air. I've been taking a couple days off, personal reasons. I'll be back on Entertainment Man Pod on the weekend. You can actually go to YouTube and just search Entertainment Man Podcast. It's up there. And I'm actually going to be working on editing the Power Ranger stuff I recorded today over the weekend. I'm going to have Kels help me out with that. But looking forward to that. Other than that, just I'm going to be recording a bunch of stuff. I'm going to probably record after this for a bit. Record some more Entertainment Man stuff. You can find everything on my website, crispyontheweb.com, or you can go to facebook.com/crispyontheweb, Twitter, aka X, and Instagram and Threads is all Crispy on the Web. It's easy to find me. But you can go to my website. Everything's on crispyontheweb.com. That's probably the best way to find me. But I'm hoping to get 100 followers on Facebook and continue my trek on X. I'm already at 3,010. So I'm doing pretty good on that, yeah.
You are doing good on that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'll be taking a hiatus, but I will still be on the shorts and on Twitter and Facebook, especially with the shorts.
Mhm.
Even in the hiatus, I'll probably be putting in at least one out, probably almost every day. I might pre-record a couple episodes and pop them out over that tour. That I'll probably take a 3 or 4 week break. I will be back for free agency and the draft, and then over the summer I'll probably pre-record some stuff and I'll take a break. But I might pop on for some NBA and movie stuff. I'm thinking about it. But the football stuff will take a rest for a little while it should over May, June, and July, and then I'll be back full force in August. I'm very excited. But you'll still see me around on the network on other shows, and I'll be popping on Chris's show in March. And
End of March,
maybe
I think.
yeah, at the end of March probably, because I'll probably take this hiatus until like early March. I don't know if we're gonna go anywhere for spring break. But tomorrow night I will be on. Let me get the time. I will be on Pete's show, the Foxborough Fells podcast. I think it's at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Let me double check. Oh, what's the time on that? I think it's 6:30. I'll be on a betting prop show with him. I'm pretty excited, like Super Bowl stuff. Friday. What time's it? Dang it. I don't know what time it's at. Anyways, sorry, I'll find out. I think it's at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll be on his show, and then me and Bill are going to do a similar one. We're going to do a Super Bowl betting prop show and our Super Bowl preview with me and Bill tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. So kind of late. So I hope y'all can stay up with me on that one. That is my second to last show, and then I'll either be back with the wife or Bill or somebody on Monday, the day after the Super Bowl. If the Chiefs lose, I think you can expect to see the wife. She hates the Chiefs. But then I'll be taking my hiatus. I'll be on Talking Packers with Steve on Tuesday, Blitz on Tuesday. So I've still got freaking 4 more shows to go in the next few days. And then I'm taking this hiatus. It's been 3 weeks since my aunt passed, and I'm going to take a well-deserved break. I pushed it really hard. I've got to say this on the air. It's only a few people listening right now, but I was for possible sponsors. Chris, I hadn't told you about that yet. We don't have any lined up, but we're trying. I added all my video views up. I hadn't told you this yet. I just did it before. And we got a couple new people on the network who their YouTubes are, one's over 200,000 total views and the other one's over 300. So like between the two of them, it's like 550. I added up my views, all the videos, and I want to say thank you to all of you, because all of my video views, which are really only about 3 months, honestly, over 100,000 total between shorts, full videos. That's not impressions, dude. That's full. That's Facebook Reels, Facebook videos, TikTok, YouTube, which is now starting to take off. I'm getting some help from Lincoln from American Football Network. He's been awesome. But also, and then on Twitter. So the 4 of them combined, I added them up. I'm serious. It's almost 105,000.
That's impressive.
Which is, in my first 3 months of videos, stupid. So I'm very thankful, because I know how hard it is to make it on this. So that's pretty legit. So I think moving forward, I'm not going to do the lives on YouTube, because I'm noticing putting them on later is better. So I'm just going to keep the lives on Facebook and Twitter for now. So yeah. But people in my hiatus, reach out. Give me some ideas on what you want to see with the show moving forward. I think I'm going to create a different playlist on Fun Football Podcast on YouTube for the NBA stuff. And probably go on Blitz and do some NBA stuff on there and keep this one football. But I had to do a trade deadline special. It's one of my favorites. And Chris, I know you've had a rough go this week, and I want to say thank you for taking the time to come on here and do this, man. Yeah. I hope you guys subscribe to his channel. He's got some awesome stuff. One of my favorite things I've done in podcasting so far was the interview with him. So I hope you guys go sub to his channel. And I'm getting close to 100 myself. I've heard that's like the break point. You get more, it just opens up views and stuff. I'm at 95. So if you guys can help me, I'm only 5 away. Get him to 100. Let's get him there, okay? So thank you guys. Fun Football Podcast will be back tomorrow, February 9th. But hope you enjoyed this NBA special. It'll be on YouTube later tonight, on Thursday night. Chris, anything else?
No, I just want to say thank you for having me on. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully you get to do this again in the future, and look forward to the NBA one later on in the spring there. I look forward to it.
I may bring you on Blitz to talk basketball with Ned. We'll see if we can work that out instead of this one. But maybe we'll come on here too. Yeah. We'll see.
All right, sounds
You'll
good.
be on one of the two shows. I haven't had you on Blitz yet. You'll have to do that one.
Sounds good.
But thanks for thanks for hopping on my first basketball show too. This is my
No
first one.
problem. It's a lot
I
of
haven't
fun.
really talked any basketball yet, so yeah.
It's gonna do really well, I'm sure.
We're gonna see how the Celtics do. I'm very curious.
Yeah, I'm very curious too.
So now that the Raptors are out, who are you rooting for?
Okay.
Like, who do you want? Who do you want to win?
Oh, obviously I don't want Boston to win. I'm not a Boston fan. Yeah, I've been to Boston, but I would probably put Denver. I would say Denver for sure.
Who in the East? Since Toronto's trying to tank this year.
I'm trying to. Oh man, don't
You
remember.
got Cleveland, you got Boston, you got Milwaukee, you got New York, Philly, Indiana, Miami.
That's a tough. Oh, New York, definitely New York.
I like
the
it.
Knicks.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them good since the Bulls can't be. I used to be a Bulls fan in the day with Michael Jordan, but honestly, I just love watching Jimmy Butler. If he's got one more run in him, it's fun to watch. He's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be upset watching Jimmy Butler play. He's just awesome.
Agreed.
So, all right. Well, hey guys, thank you for watching this episode of the Fun Football Podcast. If you can believe it, this is episode 39 and 39. And I want to say 3 weeks. Still miss my aunt, but I want to say thank you to everybody for all their comments. And you know what? I haven't done this yet. Let's go through really quick. Shay, thanks for hopping on. Eli from Twitter, thank you for hopping on, dude. NFL Outdated, thanks for hopping on. My dad, thank you for hopping on. There's some more. Back It Up Binge, again, go check out his show in NFL Outdated. Thank you for hopping on. And Janae, she's going to be, she's on the Podcast Boys Network. Thank you for hopping on. I think that's it. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I'm sure
Sorry.
Kelsey was lurking in the background probably. So
There's
shout out
been
there.
someone consistently the whole time, so I bet it was her.
I bet you anything.
I can't
All right.
see who. That's the only thing with StreamYard. So,
True.
all right, guys, thank you for watching episode 39. I'll be back with episode 40 tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And Chris, I hope you guys go give him some subs. I want to hear later. He's like, I'm at 100. But thank you guys. See you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.